Hey guys, it's Claire. I am sitting at my kitchen table, really enjoying this sunny day here in January in Roswell, Georgia. We're right north of Atlanta, and I wanted to follow up on our last video. We did our first garden tour of 2021, and we actually have stuff growing even though it's mid-January, and it's just so nice to walk out there and see Brussels sprouts and kale and cabbage, and our onion starts look like they're doing really well, and our garlic, I guess you'll see, you're going to follow it because we're going to post those videos every week. But I did want to just talk about, seed starting, and I have a ton of seeds. This bag is just one of many that's just full of seed packets. I don't know if you can see all of that in there. But of course, you have to plant at the right time, and timing really is everything. And that was a big lesson that we learned last year doing this for the first time, is just because, we love onions doesn't mean that we can plant them when we got such a late start, which is one of the reasons we've got 120 of them in there right now. So for January, some of the things in zone 7B, which is where we are, that you could think about planting indoors so that they're ready for transplant are things like leeks. And this is interesting. My understanding is you can plant like 3 or 4 of these in a cell, and then when they come up, plant those all together. So that's something that we're gonna try. This Rocky Top salad, we grew that this winter, and it's really, really good. But I did it like I spread it really thickly, and then we were just using it for salad leaves. I actually planted this in cells, and I'm going to try to do the head lettuce and see if that works. We're growing a lot of cabbage. I did 35 cabbages, different varieties, of course, and that might be too much, but one of our goals is to grow food for a family of 4 and really figuring out what does that quantity look like. Dawn and I really like cabbage. In fact, I would say I like cabbage better than lettuce when I'm thinking about salad. You can saute it in butter, which is great. You can grill it. You can make sauerkraut. You can pickle it. There's lots of stuff you can do with cabbage. So we thought we would try a couple of different cabbages. And cabbage also, like this one in particular, is a really good storage variety. So that's something that, we can grow, and as long as we keep it stored properly, we should be able to make that last. So definitely one of our goals is to grow enough cabbage this spring to have for the winter, the whole year. And then, if we end up cutting through it, we can always plant some more in the late summer for a fall garden as well. So that's what I think we're doing for cabbage. Let me see if there's any, nope, one more. So that's where we are for cabbage. Now, there's also a good time to get some herbs going, and herbs, make such a difference in your cooking. They're really expensive when you buy them at the grocery store, and I hate buying those packets of like basil or those packets of dill for one recipe, and then it goes bad. I don't ever know how to use them. So last year it was wonderful having the fresh herbs in the garden that I could just harvest as I needed to, and then I did some things to preserve those herbs. So that was really helpful. So this is dill. We grew a ton of cucumbers last year. We have so many pickles. We definitely nailed it on the pickle count for a 1-year supply. We're probably halfway through our pickles. We'll be eating them until summer when fresh ones come. But I didn't grow any dill last year, and I had 2 instances where I went to 2 different grocery stores and they were out of dill. And so when you're trying to make dill pickles without the dill, that was a challenge. So we ended up having to do a different recipe until we could get dill. So this year I'm growing dill, and my understanding is it's a little bit of a slower start, just like parsley. A little bit of a slower start. I've got parsley sitting here on my kitchen countertop, and it just adds so much. It's just that little bit of freshness that can really enhance the flavor. This is thyme. Thyme is also a slower grower. And then oregano. Now, I have seen other people's YouTube channels talk about oregano and how it lasts all winter long, and they don't have to bring it in, and it just overtakes this bed. And we're gonna see what mine does. I left mine outside. I did not bring it in like I did the parsley because of all of that, and then mine died. So I don't know if it's going to pop up this spring when the temperatures get a little bit warm, or what's gonna happen there. But I went ahead and started some seedlings. And then This is celery. And I would say we don't eat a lot of celery. You know, when I was a kid, we ate a lot of like celery and peanut butter or celery with ranch. If you're having chicken wings, that might be the only time that we're eating celery. But I really like to juice celery. And we need to make a decision about this because I only started 6 celery plants. But if we're going to be juicing celery, which when I juice from the grocery store, that's a whole thing of celery is 1 day of juice for me and Dawn. So how many celeries do we need to be growing in order to really juice that? I'm not sure if I want to give up the garden space for it, but we do like the health benefits. And right now with everything that's going on in the world, you know, anything we can do to just keep ourselves healthy and boost our immune support is great. So right now we've got 6. What I was thinking I might do is, you know, every week start 6 more so that they're all coming up at different times because celery, I don't think it's going to freeze well. I know in the past I've diced it up with some carrots and onion and put it in Ziploc bags so I have like little base starters for soups. But ultimately, that's what is coming out in January. Now in Zone 7B, you can also do kale and collards and other lettuces, and I am going to do a few more lettuces, but again, you don't want all your lettuce coming up at the same time, so you want a succession plant, you want to stagger that out. So I've got these lettuces going now. I may get 1 or 2 started too before the end of the month. Kale is another thing that, you know, I have a lot of friends that are just growing tons of kale, and I watch YouTube channels where people just have beds of kale, and we've got 4 kale plants out there right now, and they're doing great. We haven't harvested 1 leaf of that. So I don't know with a small garden plot if that's something that I want to take up the time to do. So, you know, I've got to make some decisions because it's certainly nutritious and it goes with everything and it's an easy grower, but we're just not eating it right now. So we'll have to see. This I wanted to show you. I'm not really wed to this brand or anything like that, but I did want to just make this point, especially for those of you that are just new and maybe you're, you know, following along with us. When you do your seedlings, it's really important that you do seed starting mix. And we are organic gardening, so that's important for us. But I want to just draw your attention to it's not potting soil. You're not putting your seeds in compost or potting soil or just your dirt. It needs to be a seed starting mix. It's a lot lighter. It's a lot fluffier. It drains really, really easily. And it makes it easier for that seed to actually, you know, grow and germinate. So again, you know, this is just a brand that Don picked up when he was at the big box store. It might be amazing. It might not. I'm not sure. If you have recommendations of a seed starting mix that you like, or I know a lot of people even make their own, I would love to hear about that. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you, so, you know, I store my seeds not in an exciting, this is the envelope, a bunch of them came in, but then as I pull them out, you know, I'm going to label them like these are January's because I didn't use all these seeds. So it's going to be awesome to be able to, you know, next year think about, well, what did I plant and, you know, how did that work? So that's how that, by the end of the growing season, I'll have, you know, bags of these divided up by months. But when you seed start, I wanted to show you 2 more things. You are able to, let's see if I can get you over here, use one of these like plug trays. And this is what I used last summer. And I just, you know, would plant like rutabaga, parsnips, cabbage. And that works really well, particularly if you're trying to grow a lot, or in my case, trying to grow a lot, but wanting to preserve space. You put this down in a tray so that the water can wick up on the bottom of the tray, and I'll show you that here in a second. And then you just make sure that they have plenty of light, and then once they get big enough, you can either pop them up to a bigger container, or you can go ahead and put them in the ground. The thing that screwed me up last year is I did not pot them up fast enough, and the ground wasn't exactly the right timing for them to go in, and so I ended up losing a lot. And I think that's just the reality of I have 2 kids, I have a busy life, I have a demanding job, you know, I have multiple things going on. I don't think I really took into account that these are just not that deep. And so if you're going to start your seed, look, if you can see there, they're just not that deep. You really have to be ready when the time is right to pot up. And the other thing is, I in no way was prepared to pot up this. I mean, look at how many this is. So I don't know that I'm going to use these this year. What I did this year, and let me see if I can actually show this to you. Let's see. So this is the tray that you would put that other one into. And if you can see, these are leeks. I did these yesterday. These were just containers that I actually saved from either the farmer's market when I got some starts, or Lowe's, or Home Depot. And I washed them out. You want to wash them with soap and water, and then you want to rinse them in a bleach solution or hydrogen peroxide so you don't spread any diseases. But then we've just saved them all year. So they are full of potting soil, and then I just went through and added my seeds to each one, and then I labeled them. And then I also have the date on the side. And I know that sounds kind of dumb, but when you're expecting, there's the date right there. When you're expecting the germination, you sometimes forget, like, when did I plant those again? So these right now are just waiting to come up. Like I said, I just did them yesterday. So some of them are going to take 3 to 5 days. Some of them are going to actually take 3 weeks. But they're going to sit here on my kitchen countertop in a sunny spot until they do come up. So someone's here. The reason that I know that I will always be safe in this house is we have 3 100-pound dogs that freak out at, people can be like on the street, not even turning into our driveway, and they freak out. So that is the one good thing about having big dogs. And all 3 of our dogs are rescues, which, makes us feel good about being able to do that. I don't know if you have any pets. If you love animals, leave me a comment. Let me know what animals you have. And let me know what questions you might have. I know a lot of you are just beginning, which is exactly, we're 1 year in, so we're still very, very new. But I would like to answer any questions that you might have. And the biggest thing that I want to just say is, just start. If there's any part of you that has the desire to do this, just do it. Even if it's just one plant, even if it's just one thing. You don't have to do it on such a big scale, and you don't even have to have land. You can do things in containers. You can put things on your front porch or on your balcony. Just get started, because it really is a lot of fun, and I think you'll enjoy it, and it's a creative outlet. So leave me any questions, or if you have any advice for me, you may be way further along than we are. Please leave us that. And thanks for watching. If you haven't liked and subscribed, do that now. It really helps us with YouTube and their algorithms get in front of other people who might be interested in watching this kind of content. So thanks in advance, and we're posting 2 vlogs a week. So check back soon.